of Ndlea to stop all this unacceptable nonsense of drug abuse, drug trafficking in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country we have who cannot hold our arms. We can, will, and must eliminate drug scourge.
The alarming rate of drug prevalence among close to 15 million Nigerians prior to the assumption of office of the current chairman of the Ndlea, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, had made his job clearly well cut out. Thus, his decision to reinvigorate the activities of the agency to ensure a massive reduction in both drug supply and demand, among other activities. The massive seizure and multiple arrests, as well as the increased interest in the activities of the agency by different stakeholders, are clear testimonies that the strategies adopted so far by the helmsmen are working. The drug demand reduction component of the agency's operation have also received a boost, as its activities had now been re-engineered to meet with the challenges of the current reality. The program is Ndlea Today, and you are very much welcome. Our focus on this episode of the program is the activities of the agency in the area of drug demand reduction, while the Risking It All segment focus on the destruction of over 560,000 kilograms of assorted illicit drugs by the agency. Do you know? News highlights and the feedback segment complete the package for this week. You are welcome.
On the news highlights for this week's episode of Ndlea Today. Ndlea arrests 8 over Lagos Abuja Enugu Airport cocaine bust. Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria to partner Ndlea. Kuje jailbreak. Ndlea arrests wanted terror suspect with drugs in Abuja. At least 2 ladies and 6 men have been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea, over attempts to import hundreds of cocaine pellets into Nigeria and export thousands of tramadol 225 milligram tablets, among other illicit drugs, to Europe through the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, and Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The series of arrests and seizures began on Sunday, 17th July, when a 52-year-old father of 3, Okwo Paul Okechukwu, was arrested upon his arrival from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, via Ethiopian airline flight at the Abuja airport for ingesting 76 pellets of cocaine. He has since excreted all the 76 wraps of the drug under observation at the agency's facility in Abuja. In a related development, another father of 3, Lawrence Chijoke, was arrested at the Abuja airport same day in an operational synergy between Ndlea and the Nigerian Customs Service at NAIA. Chijoke, who hails from Umuahia, Abia State, was arrested during an inward clearance of Ethiopian airline flight from Addis Ababa with 529 pellets of cocaine weighing 11.70 kg concealed in his bag. In his statement to anti-narcotics officers, he claimed he was promised 2 million naira, which he planned to use to boost his business upon successful delivery of the cocaine consignment in Abuja. Ndlea operatives also on the 23rd of July arrested 29-year-old Miss Honora Karita Soyinye at the Enugu airport upon arrival on Ethiopian airline flight from Addis Ababa. A search of her luggage led to the discovery of 2.192 kg of cocaine concealed in a designer women handbag with false lining. Attempts by drug traffickers to export different illicit drugs through narco export shed at the Lagos airport to Europe and the United Arab Emirates were also frustrated by the officers and men of the agency. Similar arrests and seizures were recorded at the MMIA Lagos, Kaduna, Sokoto, Anambra states, and the FCT. The Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, has since commended all the officers and men involved in the operations for their tenacity. The Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, PSN, has expressed its desire to collaborate extensively with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, as it strives to rid the nation of harmful substances ravaging millions of Nigerians. This request for collaboration was the main thrust of the submission of the president of the PSN, Professor Cyril Usifo, when he led the leadership of the society on a courtesy call to the NDLEA at its headquarters recently. He praised the giant strides recorded by the agency under the current leadership while expressing the willingness of the society to contribute their quota to enable the country win the drug war. In his response, the Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, who led the top management of the agency to receive the PSN team, appreciated the visitors and welcomed the offer of partnership by the society since it will enhance the agency's operation. He later decorated the PSN president as an ambassador of the War Against Drug Abuse initiative. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested one of the wanted terror suspects who escaped from the Medium Security Correctional Center, Kuje, following an attack on the facility by insurgents recently in Abuja. The fleeing terror suspect, Suleiman Idi, was arrested at Area 1 Motor Park while attempting to board a commercial vehicle to Maiduguri, Borno State. When he was searched, 3 wraps of cannabis sativa were found on him. During preliminary interview, the wanted terror suspect confirmed he was remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center for terrorism and robbery charges and that he was indeed one of the inmates who escaped from the facility recently. While commending the officers and men of the FCT command of the agency for the arrests and their vigilance, Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, directed that the wanted suspect should be immediately handed over to the Nigerian Correctional Service, NCOS.
The Chairman Chief Executive of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, had admonished drug barons operating in the country to quit the illicit drug trade or lose everything used in the drug business. The Ndlea boss handed down this warning recently at a public destruction of over 560,000 kilograms assorted illicit drugs in Lagos. Speaking at the ceremony, Marwa said the exercise is a strong message to drug barons and cartels that they will continue to lose their huge investments in the criminal trade if they fail to back out and look for other legitimate business.
I take the opportunity to urge the barons and the cartels that they should come back to their sanity and seek alternative businesses, because at the end of the day it will end up there. They must be aware that the long arms of the Ndlea will get them eventually.
He further stated that it is gratifying to know that our drug law enforcement efforts are not in vain.
Since January last year, we have arrested over 17,000 drug offenders, of which 2,369 have been convicted in court. In the process, we have seized over 3.5 million kilograms of assorted drugs. The business of today is yet another indication that officers and men of Ndlea are not relenting in the pursuit of the agency's mandate to make Nigeria safe from the drug scourge.
Yes, it's true. Drugs are a vice in our society, costing lives and huge economic losses. But the story is not the same because the game has changed. It's a red card for drugs in Nigeria. There is a new sheriff in town. Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa is moving hard and fast with full speed and precision to rid the country of the drug scourge. Ndlea Today is a program that gives you a front seat in understanding the highs and lows, the laws of drug enforcement in the country. Join us every Monday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, Africa's largest TV network. Ndlea Today. Don't miss it. Drug demand reduction is a major statutory responsibility of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea. The fulfillment of this vital objective is vested in the Directorate of Drug Demand Reduction, which is responsible for, amongst other things, all such activities as shall be necessary for educating the populace on why drugs should not be consumed, and popularization of the anti-drug culture through educational programs, seminars, workshops, jingles, radio, TV talk shows, and drug awareness posters. Second, coordination of the drug demand reduction activities of the commands to ensure standardization of professional drug demand reduction efforts. In order to achieve the broad goals of drug demand reduction, the Directorate, which is headed by Antonia Madubike, carries out its responsibilities through mutual and complementary departments.
The Directorate is charged with the responsibility of developing policies and programs aimed at reducing drug use in the country, and the Directorate will have 4 departments, and that 4 departments are data collection and research, we have NGO liaison, and we also have treatment and rehabilitation and sensitization. Sensitization is in charge of carrying out awareness creation program, creating awareness on the dangers inherent in drug abuse, while research collects data from our pre-trial cells on drug trafficking and also on treatment demand from our counseling centers. And this data is put together as annual reports, and that informs the development and initiation of culturally relevant programs that are also aimed at reducing trafficking and use of drugs.
For the Director, the scope of the operations of the Directorate is born out of the need to curb the threat posed by the drug challenge. Early drug education is pivotal to the success of the drug demand reduction. Mandatory drug tests or screening across board is equally essential for early detection and treatment. She believes that some telltale signs are quite essential for parents and guardians in safeguarding their wards from the drug menace.
Once in a while, when they step out, enter the room, check the wardrobe, check the... you might see some signs. For example, if you discover a matchbox in a child's room, or you see rolling papers in his wardrobe, what is he doing there? It's for the parents to now ask question. Please, my dear, I saw this in your wardrobe. What is happening? Do you understand? What are you doing there? These are the things to look out for. Then there are also physical signs. When he is always drowsy, you understand? His child that used to be smart. When he is always secretive, when he likes to stay on his own. This is a child that mingles with every member of the family before. All of a sudden becomes withdrawn. He doesn't like associating with the father again. He won't be able to sit with you in the sitting room like he used to do. Then there is need for you to look inwards.
The drug war should not be seen as that of the Ndlea or the government alone. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ndlea, has once again ensured that investors in the illicit drug trade do not enjoy the proceeds of their trade, as the agency, in a landmark exercise, destroyed over 560,000 kilograms assorted illicit drugs in Badagry area of Lagos State. The exercise, which represents the largest single destruction of seized drugs in the 32-year history of the Ndlea, represents the clearest indication of the agency's determination to inflict maximum loss on the barons financing the drug business. On hand to personally superintend the exercise was the Chairman Chief Executive of the agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired. Other top officials of the agency, other security agencies, as well as the members of the public. A breakdown of the 560,068.31414 kilograms of illicit substances burnt at the brief ceremony include 7,414,519 kilograms cocaine, 161,206 kilograms heroin, 1,144.8 kilograms methamphetamine, 60,144 kilograms ephedrine, 311,416.19162 kilograms of cannabis sativa, 10.9183 kilograms of khat, 273.233 kilograms of tramadol, and 0.00170 kilograms benylene with codeine, and 8,207.7505 kilograms of other psychotropic substance, which were seized by the Murtala Muhammed International Airport Command, the Lagos State Command, and the Semi-Special Area Command from persons convicted and sentenced by the Federal High Court, as well as abandoned seizures. As we advise weekly on this Risking It All segment of the program, don't invest, I say, or get involved in the drug business so that you don't lose it all.
Do you know that, like smoking tobacco, smoking weed or cannabis can also have damaging effects on the lungs? Smoking cannabis can cause damage to the lungs. This is because the smoke from cannabis contains many of the same toxins, irritants, and carcinogens as tobacco smoke. One study states that cannabis smoke can cause symptoms such as increased coughing and sputum production. These symptoms arise due to cannabis smoke injuring the cell linings of the large airwaves. Do you know that there is a link between cannabis use and psychiatric disorders? Several studies have linked marijuana use to increased risk for psychiatric disorders, including psychosis, depression, anxiety, and substance use disorders. Recent research suggests that smoking high-potency marijuana every day could increase the chances of developing psychosis by nearly 5 times compared to people who have never used marijuana. Do you know that cannabis is addictive? The use of cannabis, also known as marijuana, can lead to the development of problem use, known as marijuana use disorder, which takes the form of addiction in several cases. Marijuana use disorder becomes addiction when the person cannot stop using the drug, even though it interferes with many aspects of his or her life. People who begin using marijuana before the age of 18 are 4 to 7 times more likely to develop a marijuana use disorder than adults. Do you know that there are available options for marijuana addiction treatment? Due to societal pressures, marijuana can be one of the hardest substances to give up. The increasing social acceptance of marijuana contributes to this in the same way it contributes to alcoholics not wanting to quit. There are many people who use marijuana on a daily basis and have all the traditional symptoms of an addict who cannot control their use no matter the consequences. These people who have tried to quit on their own many times but could not do it alone. If this sounds like you, get in touch with help today.
Joy Essien from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State asks, how quickly can one get addicted to a drug? Well, here's the answer. There is no easy answer to this common question. If and how quickly you become addicted to a drug depends on many factors. It is, however, good to note that a person may overdose with the first use or become addicted after a few uses. Let's go to Lagos, where Kule Obafemi from Ikoyi asks, if a pregnant woman uses drugs, how does it affect the baby during and after the pregnancy? Here's your answer. Many substances, including alcohol, nicotine, medications, and illicit drugs, can have negative effects on the developing fetus because these substances reach the fetus through the placenta. For example, nicotine has been connected with premature birth and low birth weight, as has the use of cocaine. Heroin exposure can result in dependence in the newborn, requiring treatment for withdrawal symptoms. Ibrahim Abubakar from Zaria, Kaduna State asks, I'm working on a project for my school on drug abuse. Where can I find information? Well, you have the answer. We do have many resources that can help answer some of your questions and help give you information on your projects. Feel free to use any information you like on our website www.ndlea.gov.ng and list the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency as your source. Please keep your questions and comments coming through NDLA Today at ndlea.gov.ng or ndlatoday@gmail.com. That's how far we can go on this week's episode of the program, NDLEA Today. Keep a date with us, same time next week, for new insights on the exploits of the NDLEA. Till then, it's bye for now.